Hello, good morning. Welcome to Ubidati Family Television. This is the Possible Nigeria. My name is King Kamsi, and as always, we're here, myself and Chooks. We're here to do a lot of dissecting to the manifesto of Mr. Peter Obi and Yusuf Desi Baba Ahmed. That's our pact, titled Our Pact with Nigerians. I will be looking at the segment that talks about uniting Nigeria today. How are you doing, Chooks?
I'm good, Kamsi. How are you today?
I'm very good. I listened to the program earlier with you and Joy about enlighten Nigerian voters and all they need to do at this election time. It's a very critical time, looking that we have just 29 days and few hours to the election.
That's very true.
Definitely, but the feedback, and there was a lot of feedback on the program today concerning voters.
Yeah, and it was very positive. I mean, we are seeing that people are actually taking this to the grassroots, doing their own quota, contributing their own quota to make sure that this very movement is actualized. That come February 25th, that no other person, we are not getting any other winner apart from the Labour Party presidential candidate, which is His Excellency Peter Obi. So it was good to know that we are pushing it from here, and people are still out there doing one or two, and to move the ministry forward. So.
Okay, I think I like that. It's a movement, it's a ministry, and it's whatever name you call it, but has to be positive though. Before we get fully into the topic for today, which is the unity of Nigeria and its advantages, we have a wonderful guest on the background. I want to call him one of the very mighty obedience who have been taking this didactic movement down to the grassroots and even down the spheres of the Nigerian electorate. Allow me to introduce a public affairs analyst and also a media personality, Mr. Waju Akin Emmanuel. Mr. Waju, good morning.
The host. It's such an honor to join you today on the show. Good morning.
Good morning. It's amazing, to have you on the show today, because we're looking towards getting a lot and lots of obedience on this television to speak with them and understand how the movement has been progressing in those areas where the people, and if there are challenges, I also want to hear them from you. I want to start with a direct question. Looking at the manifesto of Mr. Peter Obi and Yusuf Dati Baba Ahmed, they spoke about unity in Nigeria, and that is one of the most threatened parts of the country today, the unity of this country. Looking at before now, there's been a lot of people who have taken the country into very guard situations, because some of them have decided to play politics on the divide and rule kind of strategy, trying to take religious politics, tribe politics, nepotism above every other, above issue-based campaigns. So when you speak about that, what has this new awakening been like? At where you are now, do you think the new awakening is sitting well with people? And if it's sitting well with people, what are those changes that you have noticed with the awakening in Nigeria?
Yeah, thank you, King. Thank you, Ibe, for this opportunity to speak on this platform. Now, first and foremost, let me establish that our Pact to Nigeria document is the most comprehensive document ever written by presidential candidates in Nigeria. Just take that from me. And the reason I said that is first and foremost because it actually addresses the issues that Nigerians are truly facing. You said something about divide and rule. It's one of the ploys of the ruling class. They've done that over the years. They make sure that when it comes to people getting interested in political happenings around them, that they will need to play all of those cards. But unfortunately for them, Nigerians, I don't know whether Providence was thinking about us when it decided to actually throw up somebody like Obi to get in the fray. Obi was able to demystify that rubbish. I remember the first time, that I would really dig in and scrutinize Obi's personality was when he said that don't vote for me because I'm an evil person. Now that person understands something. He understands that Nigeria that we intend birthing would not work for all of us if we still have it designed along ethnic lines, religious, persuasions and everything like that. And so when you dig deep into that particular document, you realize that this individual really has been prepared for this leadership. Something that will string together all the different shreds of nationalities that we have in the nation. So for me, it's just providence, maybe for the first time in the history of this nation, really listening to our prayers and bringing up somebody like Obi, because I'm a Yoruba person and I live in the Southwest, at least for now. And I'll tell you this for free, King. There's nothing that will make Obi's victory to be in question. Just take this from me. First and foremost, yes, a lot of people are scared and afraid, in this part of Nigeria because they know that the other people in the other divide, they are very aggressive. They are looking for means to actually get you provoked so that they can attack and do stuff like that. So most people, you would not see them, particularly those that are not as bold as some of us, as it were. They would not come out there and tell you that they are voting this or that. But some of them are very, very critically intelligent. They've done what I call a critical analysis of the whole candidate, and they realize that Nigeria that we want to bet, we want to build come February, May 2029. It's not a Nigeria that you want to have a sickly person, or that you want to have someone that is so entitled, or that you want to have someone that is inherently corrupt as your leader. Fortunately for me, he has so many things working for him. He's antecedent as governor of Anambra State. The way he conducted himself, as a presidential candidate. I'll tell you these three things that he has always talked about. He's talked about capacity, he's talked about competence, he's talked about character. When you look at those three major things, that's exactly what Nigeria needs. You need someone whose personality alone actually inspires confidence, not just in Nigerians, but people that are out there looking at us. Maybe you haven't come into contact, into consideration of this one, but I'll tell you for free. Very many African countries and African, nationals are rooting for Obi more than even Nigerians. And the reason is simple. If Nigeria gets it right, you can take it to the bank that Africa is almost black. I mean, we're 200 million people.
Very true. Very true. I want to interject you there, Mr. Waju. You made a very amazing point, and I want to pick it up from there. And the fact that Africa's unity, to a very large extent, depends on Nigeria getting it right. And because our focus on the show today is the unity, I want to ask, being a public affairs analyst, what do you think is the greatest threat to unity in Nigeria?
Okay. First and foremost, even though we're said to have been, free from colonialism for about 63 years now, as it were, the truth is the individuals that were handed power after the colonialists left, they made sure that they still retained all the, bits and shreds of those colonialist ideas, and that's exactly what they did. I mean. I'll say it like this. When Nigeria is playing football against any nation, you can see the unity. But when it comes to, political, affairs and how to really, really rule Nigeria, because they realize that a united Nigeria cannot be defeated. These feudalists, I call them feudalists because that's exactly what they do. They make sure that they plant seeds that will make a northerner see me as his enemy. It's a major threat. It's a major threat to the unity of this nation. I mean, years ago, I was born in the early 80s. Years ago, my father would tell me about the beauty of Jos as a place, about the beauty of Zaria, even though he's a Yoruba man, about how about how Northerners were able to very, very wisely and smartly create what looks like an artificial beach within Zaria so that they could have fun. Now, everybody would want to go there back then. Today, it's almost impossible for you to travel by road to any part of Nigeria. Now, the only reason we had what I could call a preponderance in insecurity in Nigeria and every other sector of our life is because politicians, they decided to play politics rather than actually make sure that there's governance. I'll give you a simple example between the two. Say, politics and governance are supposed to actually go together. You play politics knowing for what that you can sell your ideas to people to win their votes. But when you get into power, what you're supposed to do is that bring everybody together and make sure that everyone, however insignificant their roles were, before the election, to your own emergence as the candidate, of how you rule that particular environment. But that's not what happened. A simple example was what President Muhammadu Buhari said after the election, where he said that he could not give, people that gave him 99-something% and people that gave him 5% vote, he couldn't give them the same thing. That's exactly the style of our leaders. They find everything to show that we're not united, especially when it comes to playing politics. But when it comes to all things, they will remind you that we're the same Nigerians. So this is a major issue, and it's solely falls on the laps of our leaders. They intentionally do it. I mean, do you know that in some parts of the north, you go there today, whatever an imam or a malam says stands, however wrong that assertion from me might be, but because they see. These are structures they put in place. The religious structures, the political structures, the business structures, all of these things. So they know how to play the card at different times.
Okay, but now you've spoken about structure, I want to ask directly. Democracy is a government of the people, for the people, and by the people, which means everybody has to be directly involved in sensitive matters like decision making and a lot of other very vital situations where people need to be represented. But in the case where we're looking at unity, so on the same line with democracy, how do we find a thin line to sample every opinion? Because definitely some people are going to feel neglected, and which is still a threat to the unity. So I want you to put it directly to us how Mr. Peter Obi, the presidential candidate of the Labour Party, is going to be able to draw that line where people will feel fully represented and also agree to stay united.
Thank you for this. I remember in 2007 up until 2010 when the late president Musa Yar'Adua, Umaru Musa Yar'Adua actually, was president. Despite the fact that he himself actually confessed to the fact that there were lots of irregularities that created his emergence as Mr. President, Nigerians, all across Nigerians, including Igbos, including Yorubas, including Hausa, including Fulani, they actually saw intention. They saw a man who probably wanted to do something for Nigeria. Despite the fact that he didn't spend so much time, in office, so very many Nigerians still regard that man as one of the best, leaders of our nation, and that's because you could see what exactly he wanted to do. And I'll simply give it to you. From electioneering, we have seen the true intentions of Obi. I don't know what Obi did. I don't know who probably his advisors, while he was governor. But whatever he did, he seemed to get everything right from the beginning. First and foremost, he jettisoned the idea of taking pension, which actually put him in a good stead before Nigerians, so that they could see that this guy is ready for this. And every time that he has actually, addressed issues, about the North, about the South, about the Southwest, he has made it a point of view to address their core issues. Okay. So what I'm saying is this. It's not talking about doing a universal style across Nigeria. It's looking at a peculiar issue that every region seems to have and is telling them we'll address it. For instance, it's talking about the North with their vast arable lands and what we could do. That should be like a gold mine for them. Now, the reason, and I'll tell you, the reason that we have not enjoyed success or buoyancy economically in the North is because they've had leaders who have only, paid their attention to the oil coming from the South, and they've been able to use that and keep it to themselves. It has not served the people. But just imagine that the focus is now on what we produce. And that's why a lot of people will tell you that regionalism probably, probably still the best form of government that Nigeria has experienced, because at that point in time, every region had their resources and they developed at their pace. Now, just imagine if the land in the North, and the fact that they could do what you of the livestock and everything. If we focus on that, they have their what do you call this one, ranches across the North, and then we start exporting those stuff. That makes them arguably the richest region in Nigeria.
Okay.
As much as we're talking about oil, oil, most nations are moving away from crude oil. In the next couple of years, crude oil might not even be serving Nigeria.
Might not serve its purpose. Okay, Mr. Wadri, because of time, we have a particular time stipulated for this interview. I want to talk with you more, and but time won't let me. I just want to ask a final question, and please just wrap it up in a minute, so we could go for a quick break.
Okay.
If you were to speak to an unmotivated obedient, what would you tell him to motivate him quickly in 1 minute?
I'll tell that individual to look at the situation of things in Nigeria first and foremost, and to realize that somebody like me, I resigned from my work, knowing full well that my boss is actually a member of the ruling party who will do everything to frustrate me, however good my services are to him. And so, if we don't want a Nigeria that will be like that, where you can't get anything based on merit, where you can't thrive irrespective of the number of years you put into the work, then you need to do the right thing. And the right thing at this particular point in time is not to look at those sentimentalities. See, the greatest challenges of Nigeria, and I said it severally, are this. We are not able, most of us are not able to make informed decisions of our own. It's what our supposed leaders tell us. And that's why, Tinubu would tell us that it's Yoruba turn. It doesn't make no sense. Yoruba, I'm a Yoruba man. I was born in Oyo State, grew up in Lagos and Oyo State, but my parents are from Ondo State. And I'll tell you this for free. Even though in 1999, Yorubas voted for Falai, another Yoruba in the person of Obasanjo, arguably the best president Nigeria has had since 1999, actually ruled. And at the moment we have is serving vice presidential candidate who is also of Yoruba extraction. It would be stupid of us if we are thinking about the unity of Nigeria and we're not looking at other parts of Nigeria, particularly those who have been known as wealth builders. Everywhere the Igbo people get to, like it or not, they seem to actually get it done. So for me, that's what should motivate any obedient who really wants to, get things done in Nigeria.
Thank you so much, Mr. Wadri. I think personally, I've been motivated, and I'm sure some other people who listen outside are quite motivated. I hope we could follow this discussion sometime later. At your free time, you could always reach out to us so we could have you on the show and discuss at length Mr. Peter Obi, Yusuf Baba Ahmed, and the ambition towards Aso Rock in this 2023, 29 days to the election, and we hope for success. Thank you so much. And on this note, we want to go on a break. Myself and Chuks will be right back to discuss more on the manifesto. Thank you so much, Wadri, and have you some other time. I'm going next one by 10 because we're
Mama papa na want to be Mama papa na want ever say Mama papa na want to be Mama papa na want to Labour Party.
Mr. Peter Obi's administration built from scratch Chukwuemeka Odumegwu University Teaching Hospital with 25 building structures. His government funded transformation of massive infrastructural development, accreditation of 12 health institutions and 2 hospitals, and also built 10 maternal and childcare centers across the state. He is the first governor to purchase medical equipment worth over 135 million naira and 50 ambulances for the health sector in Anambra State, which remain functional till today. He built and equipped Dr. John Wilo Heart Center in St. Joseph Hospital, Adazi-Nnukwu, where heart operations are performed. Anambra State is the first state in Nigeria to distribute more than 30,000 computers to secondary schools. Mr. Peter Obi distributed about 700 buses to secondary schools in Anambra State and built 200 primary school blocks. He donated the sum of 300 million naira to Anglican churches and 440 million naira to Roman Catholic churches to rehabilitate their missionary schools. During his tenure, he gave 1 million naira each to more than 160 first-class graduates. To promote the reading culture in the state, he went ahead to build a well-equipped library known as Prof. Kennedy Dike Library, Awka. He also rehabilitated the divisional library in Onitsha and gave 500,000 naira to each secondary school in the state to provide library materials. This boosted the student performance from the 26th position in Nigeria to the first position. The security improvement was exceptional as he provided security vehicles to 177 communities in the state. He cleared pension and gratuity owed since 1990 to the tune of about 37 billion naira and also paid monthly stipends to the elderly in the state. Mr. Peter Obi built the first secretariat complex in Anambra State to house the various Anambra State government ministries that were scattered all over the state. His good governance attracted the second largest brewery in the world, known as Sabmela, to build their first greenfield facility in the state. He was recognized by the Millennium Development Goals (MDG) as the best governor in the implementation of their programs in Nigeria. Peter Obi constructed 2 bridges across the popular Agulu Lake in Anyocha local government area of Anambra State at the cost of 2 billion naira. He funded Agulu Lake Hotel Project, Golden Tulip, and reconstruction of Upper Iweka bridges at the axis of Enugu-Onitsha Expressway with 6 lanes. Peter Obi constructed 800 km of road network between rural and urban areas. Some of the roads include Ibariam Internal Road, Ekulobia Ezinifite Road, Niger Drive Onitsha, Ifite Dunu Road, construction of Zik Avenue and Mpo Flyover, 30 verifiable bridges, Ezu Ebenebe Bridge, Awka North, Isu Anyocha Bridge, Opaka River Bridge, pedestrian bridge at permanent site Unizik Junction, Awka. He created industrial parks as catalysts for industrialization. He constructed and commissioned the Governor's Lodge at Annex Onitsha, FMR Customary Court of Appeal Complex, High Court buildings at Nnewi and Ogidi, Judges' Quarters at Onitsha. His visionary leadership brought unprecedented transformation to the local government in Anambra State. He made provision for 1.2 billion naira credit facilities to farmers in the state and cleared a 20 million naira debt owed banks as a result of the 2012 flood devastation. Peter Obi's administration purchased 90 buses and taxis for Anis Mass Transit Company. He adopted the best practice in waste disposal and provided over 300 million naira worth of waste evacuation trucks. The Debt Management Office rated Anambra as the least indebted state in Nigeria. Mr. Peter Obi handed 75 billion naira to his successor, Mr. Willie Obiano. The credibility and reputation of Peter Obi as a competent visionary leader in public service governance and management of state resources remains undisputable.
Be that they vote for, they'll go vote for another person. So what will they try do now? They try teach people, show people say now the logo be this. So that the way you want vote, when you reach there, you will see what will be umbrella, not be for Peter Obi. you see one will be broom, not be for Peter Obi. Now this one will papa, mama, pikin, day, and that one be Peter Obi. So when you want votes, you come press that ink wey they'll put for your hand. You come put her for where this picture dey so. Now you go put her. That's why you take vote for Peter Obi. So if you see Labour Party logo now, you know what you are
I
identify
don't
am.
know because of this.
Na the location of ballot picture of so on the day of the election, you put your hand for where that picture, you make it not process another person.
So how can you do this? How can you prevent election rigging at your polling unit on election day? We share a few tips with you. So 1, show up early at your polling unit on election day. If you show up early, it's one way to stop election rigging because it gives you an opportunity to observe every activity at your polling unit. Now, this will enable you cross-check the following sensitive materials. You've got to shine your eyes and ensure that these materials are available at your polling unit. 1 is the ballot papers, 2, result sheets, 3, the BVAS.
Yes, you're welcome back to Bidati Family Television. And this is still the Possible Nigeria. My name is Kamsi and I've been here with Chooks.
Of course, it's been a ride, very good ride, and I was very impressed with the Waju. I mean, it was incredible. I think it means people are living beyond tribal differences when it comes to this election.
Very true.
I think poverty, bad education system, bad health system doesn't know tribe.
True.
And people are beginning to understand this, that for us to get it right, we need to look for the person that is credible, that has all it takes to fix, the problems we're having. And it's incredible coming from him, from the southwest. It's incredible. I mean,
then if you've noticed that the bulk of audience and guests we've had on the station since inception has been people from the southwest,
from the north,
northwest, and northeast, varying to opinions that this movement is just in the southeast. Okay, yeah, thank you so much. That's the bulk we could take on the Possible Nigeria for today. But we have a wonderful guest in the studio. Engineer Kissinger Okoye, who's the state coordinator for Lumazio for P2B, Luport for short. He's here with us, and we're going to be hearing from him on the flip side, and he'll be discussing grassroots mobilization and how Lumazio for P2B Dati has been able to, talk to the grassroots and get them energized and motivated for the forthcoming election on the 25th of February 2023. From myself and Chooks, we say thank you.
See you tomorrow, same time.
Same place, same station. And don't forget to follow us on all our social media platforms. And if you're one of those who's doing the good work and spreading the word for Mr. P2B and Yusuf Dati Baba Ahmed, please reach out to us. We want to know what you're doing, where you are, and how you are doing what you're doing, and speak to more obedience like yourself and get them energized and motivated to do more for the candidate of the Labour Party. Thank you so much.
Thank you. See you tomorrow.